Alright then, today's video is a tutorial about effects processor plugins. Alright, today I'm going to introduce you to an effects plugin called Celeb, the blue-faced uncle. This compressor comes from the same family as the 2A and the CLA2A, using optical compression. They are also well suited for lead vocals. So just like the 2A, it also has its original hardware form in reality. Let's take a look at this picture. This is its hardware, right? And this one is the 2A, isn't it? All right, of course. In the plugin, it's also called Kleb. Let's try to find this plugin now. If you want to use this plugin but can't find it, you can look for a replica within the Dual series, which offers an emulation of this plugin. Alright, let's add it to the mix and take a listen. Once it's added, instantly it gives our vocals a certain rendering. Now it's turned on and now it's turned off. And as I'm speaking, I'll suddenly switch it on again. Let's take a listen to its coloring effect. So if the CLA2A represents a kind of texture in vocals, then this one represents a kind of silkiness. The voice compressed by it will be smoother in vocals. If you're not used to it, give it a try. If we're talking about smoothness of life, this compressor does wonders, making everything silky smooth. If you're not used to it, give it a try. Alright, back on track. Let's dive into the tutorial. The first knob we're dealing with is the highly debated short output. Now pay attention, this is for the post-compression stage. Only after compressing the sound do we come to this compensation feature.
Start working hard. Get to work.
After compressing the sound, the final step is the compensation feature. Alright, okay, moving on.
Come over here.
It has a range of compression ratios from 2.1 to 10.1 that you can select from. Right, and moving on, this is where you choose the amount of compression. When you turn it this way, the threshold for the compressor gets lower and can be triggered more easily. And the more you turn it this way, the lower the compression threshold gets, which means it's triggered more easily. This gives you a range to choose from, -10, -20, -30, right? So as you twist to this side, the compression threshold decreases even further. Moving over here, we have the display mode of the meter panel. When turned to this side, input indicates a display of the input level, whereas if you turn to the other side, output shows a display of the output level signal. Similarly, when set to the middle, the meter becomes a VU meter, displaying how many decibels of sound the compressor is working on. Then moving on to this part, we have what's called the low cut feature. Now, this isn't a true low cut per se. It just means that when you set it to 80 Hertz, it'll cut off frequencies below 80 Hertz. What's the purpose of this, you might ask? For example, sounds like puff, puff, puff will trigger the compressor power. But if you set it to 80, frequencies below 80 Hertz won't trigger the compressor. Similarly, when you set it to 220, it will cut frequencies below 220 Hertz as well. Moving on to the next part, we have the attack and release time controls. Twisting it this way increases the release time, allowing more of the initial transients through, right? And if we turn it the other way, the transients are squashed more, and here's the release time. Fast to slow, quick to lengthy. Slow, fast, right? Here you have 3 preset options for your attack and release times for compression, the preset preferences, essentially. And over here, you can choose the tone that you like the most. And this section is where you select the compressor's coloring mode. See, when I twist it this way, the sound changes, right? Twist it the other way, and the sound changes again. That's the coloring for you. So this has been an introduction to using the blue phase compressor. So let's look at the compressor's tonal character selection, right? See, as I turn it this way, the sound changes. And again, as I turn it the other way, there's another change in the sound. This coloring is what it's all about. Well, that wraps up our tutorial on using the blue phase compressor.